Hello and welcome. I'm your host Gadd, and in today's video I'll be sharing the support tank build that I use to climb to #1 in ranking for the best class in the game for Battlegrounds and other PvP events in Diablo Immortal. The support Crusader build with massive shields for tankiness, AoE pressure, 100% crit hit, team buff, damage reduction buffs, and more. Turning the tides of battle in your favor and leading the charge. This guy will break down the skills and legendaries, Paragon, green set, REFORGE, first set, legendary gems, and the keys to supporting. Timestamps will be in the description below. Skills and legendaries. As a free-to-play player, these skills focus on CC immunity, crowd control enemies, buffing your teammates, and taking objectives. Fallen Sword. On the main hand 1, Luminous Rain to activate Divinity Rod. Fallen Sword now follows you, dealing damage to all nearby enemies and decreasing movement speed by 30%. On the shoulders, Belt Protector. After Fallen Sword does damage, grants you shield for 2 seconds, once every 2 seconds, and makes you immune to knockback and loss of control. The chest, Fitted Thunderhead. Fallen Sword also decreases the enemy's movement speed by 40%. This gives range AoE damage, CC immunity, and stacking movement speed debuffs. Holy Banner. On the helm, Arrow Keeper, activating Commander. Holy Banner now moves with you, increasing the critical hit chance by 100%, but decreasing the critical hit damage to 135 instead of double. Critical hit chance over 100% will grant up to 65% additional critical hit damage, but the duration is reduced. Also with the offhand Lustrous Tunic, reducing damage over time effects for your team. This helps against nuke stators, damage over time necros, and more. Shield Glare. For the Fertile 1 offhand, Lofty Light, activating Glare of Justice. Shield Glare now surrounds you with an area of radiant justice, during which enemies within are automatically attacked by all nearby enemies, dealing damage and blinding them. Not blind the same enemy more often than once every 5 seconds. Next, for the Inferno 7 Pants, Blessed Offense. Shield Glare also grants you a shield that absorbs damage for each enemy hit, up to a max. When the shield disappears, it deals damage based on the absorbed value. Shield Glare adds more AoE pressure, a blind CC, and give more survivability in team fights. Punish. For the main hand, I recommend a Wretch Splitter. Targets hit by Punish, you gain a hardened sentence, increasing your block chance by 30%, and also applying a Wonder Mark for 3 seconds, and increasing the movement speed of you and your allies by 28%, all while moving towards an enemy with a wanted mark. The added movement speed is great for gap closing on targets for you and your entire team. Teammates will benefit from movement speed from across the map. Depending on your playstyle, the Observer is amazing. Enemies struck by Punish take 19% increased damage from sequential hits, stacking to a maximum of 57%. Conjuration of Light. Lastly, Conjuration of Light, calling down a beam of holy light from the heavens, protecting you and your allies with damage immunity. Gaining Conjuration of Light again within 16 seconds reduces its duration by 50%. If running a Satyr group, I recommend having a COL order. Conjuration of Light will overwrite a target's current one to a shorter duration. Paragon. Alright, for the Paragon recommendation, I run the Gladiator Paragon, equipping Cheat Death. Fatal attacks from players instead reduce you to 1 life while making you immune to damage and stunning you for 3 seconds. After, you recover 60% life with a 210-second cooldown. Grizzly Veteran. When fighting a player, you deal 4% more damage and take 4% less damage. Quick-witted, reducing the duration of loss control effects against you by 10%. I hate being slowed. First Aid. Whenever you drop below 15% life while party members are within 5 yards, you will gain First Aid, recovering 15% of your maximum life per second for 3 seconds with a 5-minute cooldown. Lastly, Hold Formation. Each party member within 15 yards reduces the damage you take by 2.5%. I use this mainly in Vault for a 7.5% damage reduction. In Battleground, I would switch Hold Formation for Uncontrollable or Battle Morale. For the legendary skill, I use Shock Barrier. Gaining the Absorb Shield causes you to unleash a burst of energy, dealing damage to all nearby enemies equal to 30% of that shield's absorbed value, up to a maximum of 40% of your base damage. This triggers once every 10 seconds. With all the shields from Fallen Sword, Shield Glare, and also my legendary gear Endure sets, Shock Barrier causes massive AoE pressure while shielded. Since Absorb shields are based on total life, Shock Barrier damage benefits from both life and damage. And the green sets make this proc constantly every 10 seconds. Green sets. 4-piece mount banks. Each time you take damage, you have a 20% chance to gain a shield that absorbs damage equal to 33% of your maximum life. Now occur more often once every 9 seconds. As a free-to-play player, I cannot live without mount banks. Literally. 4-piece Vithus increases the duration of all beneficial effects on you and your party members by 30%, and increasing the target's attack speed by 30% for 3 seconds. Each time you use a skill to grant a beneficial effect to you or yourself and party members. REFORGE set. The Jolt set, equipping increased beneficial effects, damage taken while suffering loss of control decrease, and damage reduced taken from players. The immobilizing targets are kind of a nice for total loss of control. Vengeance set, focusing on attack speed increase on all gear slots, equipping damage to players increase, and damage to enemies suffering loss of control increase. Tremor Reforge, focusing on continuous damage taken reduced on all gear slots for added tankiness. These Reforge sets have significantly improved my PvP gameplay. However, I wish there were a tab to display all stat percentages similar to the one in Diablo 4. Curse sets. For the curse sets, which 6-piece nettled. After you gain a shield for the next 6 seconds, every time you are hit, you will counterattack, dealing 40% of your total damage to all nearby enemies. Damage dealt to enemies hit by counter is increased by 16%. Now occur more often than once every 30 seconds. Adds additional AoE damage pressure and damage increase debuff to all nearby enemies. 2-piece Ghosted, creating an illusion with 40% of your life when you use a buff skill. This illusion will take a portion of your incoming damage and last for 6 seconds, once every 90 seconds. This allows the damage you take when triggered to transfer to a nearby illusion for even more survivability. Legendary Gems. As a free-to-play support player, I focus on the core legendary gems and legendary gems with damage increase, crowd control, and defense. Also, auxiliary gems. For example, for my 5 out of 5 star Heal to Many Realms, equipping another 5-star for base affects. For the 5-star core, I recommend Bloodsoaked Jade for the damage increase, movement speed, and damage reduction under 50% life. Rolling Consequence, the crit hit chance increase burning enemies for base damage and increasing critical hit chance against burning enemies. Colossal Engine, increasing skill damage, size, and skill range, also granting immunity to knockback for a while. Beloved, which is Ox for my Heal to Many Realms for the base damage and crit hit damage. Also, it causes damage over time from base damage. Next, my 2-star recommendation, Pain Class, giving damage increase when nearby enemies are suffering from damage over time and increased movement speed. Crimson Behemoth, an event gem, increases damage over 50% and reduces damage taken under 50% life. Other defensive gems such as Moss Thorn or Battle Guard are great since these gems can be placed into Awakened 5-star gems. Other offensive gems like Mother's Lament, Viper's Bite, Ignis Scorn, and Spectral Glass are amazing to have for both PvP and PvE. Your choice of playstyle and luck in the rift. Lastly, 1-star recommendations. Everlasting Torment, base damage over time and attack speed increase. Blessed Pebble increases the beneficial effects and movement speed. Other gems that can be placed into Awakened 2-star gems are great for PvE, such as Misery Elixir and Eye of the Unyielding. The key to supporting. Alright, supporting isn't easy and can be less entertaining to watch, but this role is the most beneficial and satisfying gameplay in my opinion. As a free-to-play player, I choose my role, knowing that there will always be someone stronger and better than me. Crowd Control, also known as CC, is the best for PvP to limit the enemy's team's carries, create opportunities for your team, and just be an absolute loss of control abilities like Slow, Blind, Gather, and Stun are the best for a support build. Damage reduction. This comes in 2 forms. First, with stats, and armor, resistance, life, and attributes. Armor reduces the damage you take, resistance reduces all negative effects, life increases the shield percentage you receive, and attributes from gear and legendary gems gives stats that will add even more benefits. And second, legendary essences. For example, the Crusader Holy Banner Essence, Lustre Titanic, which reduces dot damage by 40%. This party buff gives damage reduction against Crusaders, dot necros, and any damage over time builds, reducing the damage to be blocked, creating an opportunity in team fights and disengagement. Set bonuses. Reforge green sets, and eternal gear can make a difference in how you contribute to team fights. Mount banks for survivability, Vithus for beneficial effects and attack speed. The Jolt and Vengeance are great sets for player damage and reduction. The eternal gear affixes like Endure and Resistance sets provide evasion and shields. Building for PvP is key to be a successful support player. These are just some of many important factors of supporting PvP. PvP and group play strategies. Core positioning, stay with the group. This is essential for maximizing your buffs and utility. By sticking close, you provide Holy Banner for crit chance and team synergy, Hold Formation for strong damage reduction, Conjuration Light to keep allies alive in heavy team fights. Ability usage. Falling Sword and Shield Glare provides bonus shields, grants crowd control immunity, and allows you to CC enemies while staying protected. Synergy and target focus. Identify which carry class, Barb, Necro, DH, etc. you can support most effectively. Holy Banner's Luster Tunic grants your teams 40% damage reduction versus Crusaders, since they rely on heavy dots, boosts attack speed, and makes skills unblockable. The weaknesses and counters to this build are limited mobility, can hurt your positioning. Range classes like Mages, Demon Hunters are your biggest challenge. Be cautious when engaging. Support mindset, pick one player to support and lead with. Ensuring your team's push is strong, focusing on racking up assists while enabling your allies to deal maximum damage. What's important, if your carry overextends and dives too deep, do not chase. Play disciplined and keep the rest of your team stable. The support tank Crusader is more than just a meat shield. You're the backbone of your team's success. If you want to be that dependable frontline that everyone wants in your party, this build is your go-to. Well, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you like the build, don't forget to save it to your armory. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below, message me in game or on Discord. Information will be listed down below. Best of luck and have fun. See you next time. Take care.